Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology forecast for Thursday, March 21st of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week and a wonderful start to the astrological new year. Let's go ahead and hop into these astrological transits for today so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Yep, I'm going to bring up that calendar. Of course, we do have the sun, which is going to be in sextile to Pluto today. We're also going to have Venus conjunct Saturn, so definitely going to be a pretty intense day as far as that goes. But I think that should be very good energy. I actually think the Venus conjunct Saturn is going to be rather positive, especially considering the fact that Venus is exalted there. And of course, on sextile Pluto, that's going to bring about an opportunity that comes up there. So I think it'll be a good day. I really do. So let's go ahead and look at the charts and we'll go from there. All right. Have this set for 8:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can see that we have the moon over here at 20 degrees of Leo coming off of the trine to Chiron and Mercury that it made in the early morning. And of course, we do have that sun, which is currently in sextile to Pluto here at 1 degrees. You got to remember the sun is exalted in Aries. In fact, Mercury is at the degree that the sun is exalted at, which is pretty interesting that we start the day off with that energy. So I think it's also kind of interesting that the moon actually ends up trining the Mercury at the degree that the sun exalts at. So it's pretty cool. I actually like that. That's like early. That happens like early in the morning and stuff. So now let's talk about the sun sextile Pluto. Well, I always talk about how sextiles bring up opportunities, right? And with this being 1 degree, definitely is going to get down to the heart space. It's that first step after the new year. So it's going to bring about some fresh energy. This will bring up some opportunities to definitely connect with different groups of people to kind of really ask ourselves, what is our overall goal for how we're going to serve humanity in many ways. It's going to bring about, of course, a transformative aspect here. But this is about, do we have the ability to kind of, go outside the norm, go outside the box, come up with some creative solutions, if you will, and really put that honest step forward. I think the Southern Aries is going to bring about some nice positive energy that a lot of people have been looking for, because a lot of people probably feel like they've just been going through the motions. This is going to definitely bring about some nice, inspiring, motivating action, but you still have to put in the work. The sextile over to Pluto here is going to talk about how transformative this really can be simply by taking some action. Now, it needs to still be calculated action. We can't just take action for action's sake. But, this is about, actually looking within our heart and, what are you passionate about? What do you love? What do you love to do? And to really move in that direction. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, Jay, not everyone gets to do what they love for a living or for work. I'm not saying that you have to, you know, I'm not saying that you have to, but there's still something that you love, that you're passionate about, that you want to create. And today is a day about taking that honest first step and to actually move towards it. You know what I'm saying? That's for it to stop just being an idea in your head and to actually move. That's what this is all about, right? Especially with the moon having trine Mercury at the degree of the sun's exaltation. Mercury, of course, now past Chiron, moving forward, now it's heading to Eris, the planet of discord. So it's kind of interesting. Like this Mercury, it's kind of in Aries, it's gone from being, all right, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good, now it's heading towards some discord, some challenges. And we got to also remember that Mercury is going to retrograde in Aries. So Mercury's actually slowing down. It's not, I mean, yeah, it's going to say it's moving fast, but it's not. It was moving 2 degrees a day, but Mercury is actually slowing down. That's the thing about this Mercury. So, you know, it's like we have this vision for the future and we want to move forward and we want to take some bold action and stuff, but it is still going to require us to have some courage, some faith to actually like fight for what we believe in, fight for our passions, fight for our love. That's really what this is all about. We can't just think about it anymore. We can't just ponder on it anymore. We actually have to do something and move. We're going to, of course, see as the day continues. We're going to see Mercury. I mean, not Mercury. We're going to see Venus actually hit that 12th degree of Pisces, and it's going to conjunct Saturn. And this is a major graduation moment. This is about whether or not you actually can receive. This is all about because Venus is about receiving. This is about whether or not you can actually receive this sort of graduation moment with Saturn, right? Because it's like Saturn, it's all about the hard work, the effort, the adulting in life, right? The challenges, the lead, the hard shit. Venus is coming in here a little bit softer. Venus is a little bit soft, especially here in Pisces. She gets to be the pearl inside the clam. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it though, if Saturn rules time and Venus is like the pearl inside the clam, think about it. That pearl, it takes time for that pearl to come to fruition. It takes time for that pearl to form. And over time, it turns into like this beautiful pearl. This is a transit that's going to remind us that anything that is really worth doing, where we put our energy into it, it takes time for it to build. It's not going to happen overnight. And this is going to be a reminder of that. I think this will be a really positive conjunction, though. Even though Venus was with Saturn, there's going to be some pressure here, of course, but pressure makes diamonds. Pressure makes pearls. And I think this is going to be a transit that reminds us of that. Mars on this day, of course, around this time, enters that last degree of Aquarius, which does bring about a bit of some edge. Of course, when anytime that a planet reaches that last degree, it brings about some edge, it brings about some intensity, right? So we're going to see that happen while these two are conjunct. Now, I think it's interesting, of course, that Black Moon Lilith is opposing this conjunction, right? So we could be so fixated on it looking a certain way, right? Because this is Pisces, so this is beyond time, right? Saturn ruled Aquarius. Saturn's a co-ruler of Aquarius, so this is beyond time. This is beyond time and space in many ways, right? So it's super etheric, super spiritual in many ways. You have Black Moon Lilith that's opposing it, which is going to bring up some doubts and fears on, but can we create this thing? Will this pearl form? Will this diamond form? It's taking too long. There's too much time that's going on here. Will it actually happen? You know what I'm saying? Is it realistic? That's another one too. Do not let the Black Moon in Virgo, do not let this, especially with it being conjunct Juno still here within 2 degrees, and Juno is all about commitments. Do not let this Black Moon Lilith get in the way of you committing and you receiving these higher, deeper spiritual facets of yourself that are telling you that you absolutely have the capability of creating awesome shit in your life. Point blank, period. Now, you can create awesome shit in your life, but if you allow these fears to come in and start to dictate how it needs to look, or you're worried about how it's going to fit into your day-to-day reality, you create the time, you create the space, you do it anyways. We're going to see, of course, that moon here at 25 degrees is going to quincunx Neptune, right? And then it's going to overnight get closer to that opposition with Mars. It's not going to quite happen on Thursday, but it gets very close. Now, if you're on the West Coast, this will happen at the tail end of your day where we see the moon oppose Mars. But that's building up throughout the entire day. And how interesting it is that this opposition is happening here at the tail end of Leo. We got to remember too that this was where Venus retrograded, was right here in Leo last year. For the first time in all of our lives, where Venus began her retrograde in Leo. So I think it's interesting that this opposition happens, and then of course Venus does move past Saturn, which can signal in many ways a graduation point. Hopefully, a graduation in our understanding of these spiritual etheric matters and how we can receive from Saturn today. We can receive for some, and in many ways, I felt like this could be a revival of purpose in some people. This can be a revival in, it's like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, that's really what it comes down to, a revival and purpose. That's the main thing that I'm getting from this is a revival and purpose, legacy, wanting to build something, wanting to do something, right? We've got the Venus that's going to start to move towards the sextile to Jupiter, right? So it's like we get the sort of, graduation moment with Saturn, and then it's going to be like, okay, now what? Until Venus has a couple of degrees before it sextiles over to Jupiter. That's when, if Venus just graduated from college in many ways, she has a couple of degrees to kind of party in between, and then the sextile to Jupiter is the job opportunity, right? It's the job opportunity. It's the opportunity. It's the career opportunity, and how that starts to, unfold and stuff like that. So that's the interesting thing about a day like today. I think it can be a very, very positive day. I really do. I when I saw this Venus conjunct Saturn, I was like, wow, I think that's actually going to be a really, really cool thing. I really do. And even if we look at the scores for it, Venus is still at plus 12 during the conjunction, right? It's still at plus 12. Saturn's at minus 5, right? And it's probably more like minus 3 or minus 2. Remember, I've been saying that for a while. It's probably more like minus 3 or minus 2. But this is about also whether or not we are willing to put in the work, willing to put in the hard work, and willing to receive the repercussions of our hard work, be them positive or negative, especially positive. We're putting in hard work. We would hope that the repercussions for it would be positive, right? That's really what this is all about, So not only that, but we got to consider that we are about 4 days away from the full moon lunar eclipse that's going to be happening here in Libra at 5 degrees. So we're not that far away from this. We're not that far away from entering to this major pivotal eclipse season. All right. So we also got to consider that we haven't seen Venus Saturn in Pisces in a while. It's been a bit since we've seen this. Like, because I know Saturn came into Pisces. I know Saturn was in Pisces in '94, but I know Venus was well past them at that point. And you have Saturn. Let's see, where am I looking at? Yeah, Saturn went into Pisces and then retrograded back into Aquarius. Right, and then Venus came back around, and then we see it. Bam! That's when it happened. The last. Let's see. Hold on. Wait a minute. We go right there, and then yeah. I mean, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been. Looks like they conjuncted at 1 degrees back in 1994. This was 3 days before my wife was born. But then I guess if you really want to like the last time, this was the beginning of the Saturn cycle in Pisces. But if you want to get like technical, right? If you want to get technical, it would have been 1996. So, which makes sense, right? So, Switch this to weeks. Switch this to days. Yeah, 22 degrees. It's the last time that we saw Venus, Saturn, and Pisces. All right. South node was in Aries, not the north node. And of course, this was back when the Mars, Sun in Aquarius, Juno, Uranus, Neptune was still in Capricorn, Pluto was at the beginning of Sag. So Chiron was in Libra, so Chiron's now in Aries. So it was a different world back then. The last time that we had this moment, it was a much different world back then, right? Now we have this happening here at the 12-degree mark. And I think this is kind of concluding a cycle, if you will, of these Venus-Saturn conjunctions in Pisces, because you gotta remember, Pisces is that last sign of the zodiac. It's accumulation, a culmination point. I call it the review period, where we're going over everything, right? So yeah, this is, like I said, Saturn is tough. It's hard. Venus is soft, especially here in Pisces. So this is an energy that can kind of help to soften us up a little bit, for us to not be so hard and so rigid, and it has to look a certain way and turn out a certain way, and time has to be a certain way, and everything has to be this particular way. Venus is coming in here exalted in Pisces to help soften things up a little bit. Have a little bit more compassion, grace on yourself on a day like today. You don't want to go all the way and completely soften up. Now you still got to do the hard work. But yeah, this is about just softening us up a little bit, which we need this kind of energy. It's been crazy. There's been a lot to endure. This Venus is going to come in here and just kind of, it's like Saturn's getting a massage. It's like Saturn's getting a massage from Venus today, which will help Saturn to feel much more refreshed and able to do what Saturn does better. This will help us to lead better in our life, to be better leaders in our life, to be better authority figures in our own life, help us to make better decisions ultimately. This is like a spa day for Saturn. That's what it's going to feel like. So it's like, treat yourself, maybe get a massage today. If you happen to live in Georgia, if you happen to live in like the Atlanta metro area, get a massage from my wife. She's awesome. But shameless plug. But yeah, I think this would be a very positive thing, I guess if there's a challenging part of this is the inability to open up. The inability to open up and receive, the blessings from the universe, the miracles from the universe. The inability to open up and see the magic around you, and to just be Scrooge and just be like, bah humbug. That would be the negative aspect of that, is not being able to open up, or being afraid in many ways to open up and have the world receive you. That could be another thing. Maybe you are afraid to expose yourself or show yourself to the world, which is probably has a lot to do with this Mars here at the end of Aquarius too. Who are you amongst this collective of people? Who are you? And are you willing to live from your heart space, Moon and Leo? And are you expressing from your heart space your creativity and passion that is you? So yeah, this will give you an opportunity to kind of open up and have the world receive you in who you are, and who you are is something that you determine that, right? It doesn't matter what anyone says or thinks. You know who you are. And if someone says something or thinks something about you and you get super angry or flustered about it and stuff, then you still have something that needs to be healed within you, because it affects you to that degree. I mean, yeah, there's not everyone's going to like you. That's part of it. Not everyone's going to like you. And of course, you don't want to be defamed and stuff. I get that. But if it's like a simple, like, someone calls you a name, let that shit roll off. That's the ignorance within their own heart, within their own spirit. Actually, it's not even within their own spirit because the spirit's not ignorant. It's within their own human ego that's kind of calloused over and has covered their spirit, and their spirit can't even like really come out and fully express itself because they're so calloused from the experiences of life that now they are expressing themselves from that aspect. So don't let that stuff get to you. Like I said, if you do let it get to you, then there's probably some underlying unhealed issues there. Maybe in a way you almost believe them. That's not a conversation that people are ready to have. Let's get into the cards. I have the Three of Moths upright. The Three of Moths upright. Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, the person that's sitting on the cliff typically, and they're philosophizing, they're looking out at life and figuring out which way to go and stuff. I have that I have it followed by the Star card. Man, you got to follow your North Star. I think this is a beautiful thing right here. This is like, you know what this is? This is like the three wise men. There's three moths, right? And this is the Star card. This is like, this is freaking the story of when the three wise men, in many ways, went to, they found Jesus and they navigated through the stars and through the cosmos and through this higher understanding. So in many ways, maybe you are looking for your Jesus, if you will. Just bear with me with the metaphor, but it's like you're navigating by the stars. This is an exercise in trust and faith that this is going to guide you to the right direction. It's like a whole cosmic map is kind of opening up here, but it's like you're looking for something, right? You're looking for something, like, and maybe it's, that job that's really going to help, or maybe that relationship or something, but you're looking for something, and it's like you got to trust the stars. It's a giant map. It's the original GPS. It's the original GPS, right? And you will find that thing. You have to just have trust and have faith. And some people are going to think that you're probably crazy and weird or whatever, that you're not using the modern technology. But no, this is about, you know, having that trust and having that faith that things are going to work out. I have that followed by the Two of Bees to round it out, but it's in reverse. So in the stalemate, in the worry, you've been pondering for long enough. Now it's time for you to take some action. If you feel the conviction in your heart to go for something, go for it with unabashed abandon. Just go for it. Just abandon the worries and the fears and the apprehensions. Just abandon them and just go for it. And trust that the stars will guide you to where you need to go. I had that followed by the card of conception. Literally, three moths, the star, freaking the three wise men finding Jesus, and the immaculate conception. Come on now. The frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of the space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and attention. That's the one thing that they do not want you to know. It's just how freaking powerful you are, how powerful the human emotion and imagination is. It's so freaking powerful that you really can do anything that you want. There's infinite possibilities, but you have to trust and believe that you can actually do that. And then once you start taking some actions and start moving towards it, and it's the universe starts showing up and giving you clues and giving you hints and showing up and showing you the results, you'll really start to believe just how freaking powerful you actually are. And the dark doesn't want you to know that. The dark doesn't want you to know just how powerful you are. It doesn't want you to know that you are actually a lot more powerful than it even is. All it can do is manipulate you and lie. That's all it can do. But if you believe, you trust, and you keep moving forward, you stay focused, you smile often, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You got nothing to worry about. Because if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. You know what I'm saying? If something's meant to happen, it'll happen. But don't live in fear. Don't live in doubt. Just keep it moving forward. You got this. That's going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Thursday. I will see you all on the next astrology forecast. Peace.